Welcome, welcome. Green light, Soca Sunday. Green light meaning it's going to be a nice, calm show. Nothing controversial to be discussed. Maybe a little bit of social topics. For this Soca Sunday, we have an update from the island. As always, news from the island. A little bit about agriculture, a little bit about healthcare. Then we're going to talk about honoring the legacy of a fallen Calypso monarch. Then we're going to get into Calypso battles. Early 90s. Nothing too old in the history. We'll find more, I'm sure, and add to the content for future shows. But for now, welcome to Soca Sunday. I love this mix. We don't have to listen to this. I love this remix. Kaya Mama. We rocking Lucian Bear today. Got the Lucian Bear on. Got the jacket on. It's chilly. It's chilly out there. Sunny. I love seeing the sun, but it's cold. All right, let me set up a few things here. Cynical. What's up, sis? How are you? Cool, man. I saw you come in, bro. Hey, team. What's up, sis? Peace and prosperity to you, too. All right, y'all. As mentioned, Soca Monarchs. A little bit of an introduction into the Soca history, or excuse me, Calypso Monarchs. Calypso Monarchs. A little bit of introduction into Calypso. We're going to start with the story of, first and foremost, we're going to start with the story of Janny Williams. Then we're going to get into a Calypso battle between two of the greats. Yeah, that's about it. It's going to be a good day. A lot to cover, though. A lot to cover. As always, I got a lot for y'all. We're also going to, so the news we're going to start with is going to be on the island regarding the hospital. They're actually live right now on the island, talking about the new hospital. They're turning over the keys, opening the facility, getting the final inspections done, and starting to take care of patients, something that's been lacking. So, all right, we're not going to waste time. We're going to get right into the show, right? Got to get right into it. As always, I got a montage for you and near and dear to my heart. Miss Squinting, let's go. Mwah. Love you, baby. Let's go.
Once you pull up in this when the killing will begin, you feel me pulling up your skin. I really came to get it and deliver murder grand.
me go anywhere far with me. This a girl I love you rough when she calls to me. And if you fall for me, probably your body. They deep now your pussy, so your moon, so your
Say once don't lock up the stove. Out of kitchen now, wash off your clothes. 17 shoot off a shot off them nose.
From me young, now me grow big promoting. Me not smoke, me and myself. I got a spliff up in my head. I know me now, man again, now man again. Now man again, now man again. I am blessed. I am blessed. My life, I am blessed. When I wake up in the morning and I lay my head to rest, and every day of my life, I am blessed. Make money, money haters, one bad mind, God knows me, love woman, follow him, that's on the man.
Messieurs, mesdames, t'imagines me 28 là, mes mani pièces d'effet. Moi v'lais faire un petit bouillon, moi j'ai fait commission, moi v'lais pouiller un petit d'effet, mais moi pas ni chez bon. Ben soit c'est ça les ans, moi j'ai fait préparation, un seul bagage moi marché, c'est différent, pas tes sons. Mais pas moi boire, li mais pas moi boire. Nene ba mwen pousse ba mwen fouye ba mwen boire. Mene ba mwen boire. Li me ba mwen boire. Oh Lord, kumbaya. Jamaica needs you, Lord. Kumbaya. Jamaica needs you, Lord. Kumbaya. Jamaica needs you, Lord. Kumbaya. Oh Lord. Kumbaya.
Soca Fed. Welcome to the show, everybody. Salute, salutations, all my beautiful people. Thank you so much for joining me here on this beautiful Sunday. Like I said, it's a little bit cold outside, but your boy C.I.P is here with you to get it heated up. Let me tell y'all, we got a great show today. I got a great show. We got a great show. We here together, right? All right. So, who we got here? Miss Sunkissed. Happy Sunday, sis. I see you. What's up? All right, Big Natty, bro. Thank you so much for stopping through. A-Team, how are you, sis? Aren't you switching accounts? Jay Walker, what's good? What's good? Sis Cynical, I seen you sneak in. And Pooh Man, where you at? Where you at? Seeing you out there, bro. Nice to have everybody here with me. Shout out to all of y'all. And you know what? Hold up. We got to do this right. For the ladies, get you a little Riz, right? Got to do the Riz for the ladies. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Let's see what we doing. So we've got history, a little bit about healthcare on the island. We've got a little bit about agriculture on the island. And then we'll get into the vibes of the music and the legacy and all that, right? All the Calypso stuff. So, first up, let's get right into it because it's going to be a long afternoon, couple hours. Thank y'all so much for being here with your boy. This Soca Sunday, as always, it's the culture, knowledge, and entertainment over here on C.I.P. Please hit the like button. Keeps me in the algorithm. This is a great show. You know you want to share it out. All right. Subscribe if you're new. I know there's cloud watchers out there. I love y'all too. Y'all aren't part of the invaders yet, but once you get in here, you get in the chat, you start engaging, we here for it, right? All right, y'all. So first things first, the hospital. I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to tell you anything about the history of the hospital because this video is going to pretty much sum it up. So I'm not going to waste time in that respect. But healthcare has been a lingering albatross on the island. All right. If you know, you know, it's been a deficit. There's been a big deficit in the healthcare on the island. So what we about to do, she said you're not black no more. The suntan's starting to wear off. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump right into this. We're going to take a look at where they're at. Like I said, this is live. So they are doing the reception ceremony for the grand opening of the hospital. The prime minister's there. The investors are there. They did get some investments from overseas, which is the norm in the Caribbean. All right. So we're going to take a look from a historical perspective. During the live broadcast, they encapsulated everything that they were working on. So we're going to take a look at this. Here we go.
So we're going to take a look at the history of the St. Jude Hospital.
All right.
St. Jude Hospital began in 1966 through the compassion of Sister Mary Irma and the Sisters of the Sorrowful Mother. For decades, it was more than a hospital. It was a lifeline for the entire south of St. Lucia. But on September 9th, 2009, before dawn broke, fire ripped through the surgical and pediatric wings. Operating theaters collapsed. Wards turned into ash. 3 lives were lost, and in one morning, the South lost its only major hospital.
Right.
With no alternative, doctors and nurses were moved into the George Odlum Stadium, a track and field facility turned emergency ward.
So basically an Olympic track and field stadium, they turned it into an emergency hospital. Take a look at that, you guys. That's you see that on the way from the airport to my hometown, to the town of the family, Nikud. Yep.
What was meant to last weeks stretched into months, then years, then more than a decade.
Yep.
Corridors built for athletes became ICU passageways. Locker rooms became consultation areas. For 16 years, St. Jude existed in exile. The original construction site was started, abandoned, redesigned, halted, restarted, and abandoned again. Millions of dollars vanished into audits, reports, half-built blocks, and politically driven decisions. Technical reviews revealed structural mistakes, low ceiling heights, misplaced columns inside wards, incomplete pipe systems, and designs that could never meet modern health standards. By 2021, the site in HoH had become a national symbol of delay and despair. Overgrown with bush, infested with bats, rats, garbage, even sheep. It was no longer a hospital. It was a ruin. St. Jude had become St. Lucia's Tower of Babel, a project everyone touched and everyone failed to complete. July 2021.
The majority of this falls on leadership, right? We're not going to get too political, right? We're here to enjoy the Calypso Monarchs, but we always cover the news. We have to know what's going on. So, but this falls dead on the shoulders of leadership.
Philip Pierre is elected Prime Minister with a mandate the country made unmistakable. Complete St. Jude. No excuses. From his first days in office, Pierre made one decisive choice: return to the original St. Jude site.
They dropped the stream mid-presentation. Technical issue is not on the side of your boy
Real
C.I.P.
hospital
There we go.
within his term.
They're having feed issues.
An independent technical committee reviewed every drawing, every structure, every option. Their conclusion was clear. The original site was sound.
Hey, Cree.
The old work was salvageable, and the hospital could be completed faster and safer than starting anew. Pierre's administration moved immediately, clearing the site, commissioning engineering reviews, and mobilizing local capacity. For the first time in 6 years, the sound of construction returned to Auger. Before any foreign financing arrived, the government pushed ahead, using local contractors and resources, completing 4 critical facilities: the administration building and kitchen, the dialysis building, the physiotherapy building, the power laundry and maintenance building. These buildings were structurally complete, mechanically operational, and undergoing final testing by early 2024. Full electrical distribution, fire systems, HVAC, plumbing, medical gas lines, network cabling, and security infrastructure were installed, proving the government's commitment before a single dollar of external support arrived. But one truth remained. To finish St. Jude fully, properly, and on time, St. Lucia needed help. In August 2023, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, through the Saudi Fund for Development,
There it is.
approved a US $75 million concessional loan for the completion of the St. Jude Hospital. It was more than funding. It was a partnership. A joint venture model was created to ensure international oversight and transparency. CIE of St. Lucia and ADCO of Saudi Arabia formed the construction team. Caribbean Consulting Engineers and DAO International provided supervision. Engineers from India, the Middle East, the Caribbean, and Europe joined St. Lucian teams, bringing together global expertise under the mandate: complete St. Jude, deliver the hospital. And for the first time in 15 years, the project moved with urgency, discipline, and precision. Rehabilitating an 80-year-old hospital was not renovation, it was surgery. Engineers fought through structural surprises, missing as-built drawings, hidden beams, and design conflicts. Narrow gurney corridors were rebuilt and tested on camera. Entire mechanical and electrical systems were ripped out and replaced. Years of abandoned equipment, including EC $10 million worth of obsolete AC units, had to be discarded. And procurement challenges became a...
That's crazy when you think about the waste because of the neglect, because of the time that went by that they weren't working on this project and were misappropriating funds. The equipment was outdated, so the money that they invested was just trashed. That's incredible.
Daily battle. When shipping delayed vital
Pinball, what's good, bro? We're doing a little bit of a look at what's going on the island. They're doing a live broadcast right now where they're turning the hospital over and doing the grand opening. But we're just taking a look at the history that got us to this point where they're actually opening the hospital. For the longest time in the south of the island, the only medical facility they had was an old track and field stadium. And that it's been decades. It's been decades. They've been actually servicing the public for healthcare out of that facility. So now they're finally opening this facility. Maybe. It's got a sordid history.
Components, materials were flown in on commercial aircraft, sometimes from the UK, India, or China, just to protect the project's timeline in the interest of St. Lucia. Despite everything, progress accelerated. The administration...
Come on, you guys. Cut back to the video.
Building.
There we go.
Dialysis, physio, PLMB, 100% complete. Surgical wing, 100% complete. East wing, 100% complete. Campus roads, sidewalks, drainage, and electrical distribution, 100% complete. For the first time since 2009, St. Jude was beginning to look and function like a real hospital. This construction became more than concrete and steel. It became a restoration of public trust. Every wing restored was a stitch in a national wound. Every corridor finished was an artery reopened. Every operating theater completed was a breath of hope for families waiting 16 years. The workers, local and foreign, labored nights, weekends, holidays. The project management unit, consultants and contractors pushed relentlessly toward one goal: open the doors, bring St. Jude home. And so they did. On November 9th, 2025, Prime Minister Pierre announced to the nation, the buildings at St. Jude Hospital are completed. The hospital is ready to be commissioned. Sunday, November 16th, 2025.
Here we are. So now the hospital's ready to be commissioned. All right. Shout out to St. Lucia. We've finally gotten to the place where the hospital is ready to be commissioned. All right, we're going to leave it at that. We're not going to go into the politics of what took so long and the suffering that the people on the island have gone through. But we'll leave it at that. All right, ending the poll. It looks like reggaeton is the party y'all going to. That's what's up, y'all. All right. Reggaeton was the choice with 64%. Soca fell to 27%. Dance hall at 9%. All right, y'all. All right. I'm loving it. Okay, so now we're going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to put a link in the chat. And I want y'all to go explore that link. Radio Garden. I don't know if anybody knows about this or not. If you do, shout out to you. Radio Garden. Check that out, y'all. So what we got here is an app that has radio stations from all around the world. Look at the US. Look at the United States. Incredible. You can listen to radio from anywhere in the world. Isn't that crazy? And this is a music episode.
Running. How long?
We're talking about music today. Talking about the Calypso Monarchs. So I figured no better time than to have a little bit of fun with y'all. Check this out. So when you take a look at the app, I'm gonna shrink the window a little bit here for y'all. Give me 1 second. Okay, so when you take a look at this app, down here in the lower left corner, you can see Soufre. You can see that number 3 right in front of it there. Can't see my mouse, but there's a little number 3 right in front of Soufre there in the corner. And then as you go around and navigate the island, you'll see that number will change. So it actually shows you how many radio stations you have in each of the cities, towns, prefectures. Doesn't matter wherever you are at in the world, but you can listen to the local radio with no problem. I'm trying not to get too many copyright strikes. We got music, y'all. It's absolutely amazing. Doesn't matter where you go in the world, you're going to tune right in. It is a project, I think, out of the Netherlands or something like that. They started this project to basically curate all the radio stations from around the world. So all through the Caribbean, all through your own motherland, wherever that may be. Take your ass on over to the UK, over here, hang out, listen to some music of your people, you know? Anyway, we in the Caribbean, so we gonna stay down here. So go explore, y'all. Your boy C.I.P. loves to share with y'all, all right? Denry segment. That's usually my home spot. And then I move over to Soufrière. They got some good stations over there as well. So, yeah, yo. In Beaufort, that's where the airport is. That's the music you'll be listening to when you land on the island. All right, shout out to Radio Garden. All right, moving right along. Agriculture. Something that's been plaguing the island for a very, very long time is the sargassum seaweed that invades the east coast of the island. Comes across with the trade winds, comes across with the jet streams and all the weather that blows across from the Sahara, and it smacks right into the east coast of the island. So you have this thick blanket, as you'll see in the news report, of seaweed. Where the family's from, Mikud, Praslin area, all up the east coast. All through there, there's a certain sight and smell of seaweed that you'll experience. And yeah, it's not pleasant. So just like the previous video with the hospital, there was a partnership between St. Lucia and another country, right? We have a partnership with Japan and other countries for this piece. And I love Japan. Japan has some very conservative and well-rounded values and governance. They're an island nation, folks. They are an island nation surrounded by water. Other island nations may want to take heed the way that they conserve, and the way that they are productive in everything from their architecture to their societal values, all encompassing. Yeah, I'm a fanboy of Japan culture. But anyway, that aside, let's see how they've helped us out on the island. Let's go.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Food Security and Rural Development has officially unveiled a suite of sargassum management equipment
JP,
to strengthen St. Lucia's
What's good,
response to the recurring influx of sargassum seaweed along the island's eastern coastline. The
Big
unveiling
dog.
ceremony, held under the joint initiative between the United Nations Development Programme and the Japan International Cooperation
Go
Agency,
Japan.
forms part of the National Sargassum Management Capacity in the Caribbean project. Spanning from 2022 to 2025, the project supports 5 Caribbean countries in building the capacity to effectively manage and mitigate the impacts of sargassum seaweed through the provision of equipment, technical assistance, and expert guidance.
There it is.
Aimed at reducing.
Look at that. All along Labrie, all along Praslin, all along Mikud, it's just a giant blanket. And that stuff's really, really toxic. As it starts to break down, it releases all kinds of gases into the air. The smell is disgusting. And not only that, but the off gases are poisonous. If you walk through it, it can seep into your pores and it can cause bacterial infections. It ain't no good. It ain't no good.
Negative effects on coastal ecosystems, tourism, fisheries, and public health.
Yeah, and public health and fisheries as well, right? Tourism, everything. People don't want to go near it, but the boats, the fisheries, the boats can't travel through that. It gums up the works of their propellers.
At the ceremony, free tractors and
Hey,
attachments
Repink, how you doing, sis?
specifically designed for the removal of sargassum seaweed were officially handed over to the ministry. The machinery is expected to enhance the island's capacity to respond quickly and efficiently
Look at
to
that.
sargassum accumulation along affected coastlines.
This project represents more than just equipment, and I mentioned earlier. It symbolizes commitment to collaboration and resilience to protecting our coastal and marine resources for future generations. It also reflects the strong partnership, and I did mention that, between or amongst the agencies. Let me say that the issue of sargassum is one that does not rest only with the Department of Fisheries.
Right.
And we recognize there is the need. That is why we invited a number of other agencies to this occasion, that there is a need for intersectoral coordination and management for sargassum.
Communities such as Grosley, Denry, Praslin, Miku, and Beaufort have
There we go. All of the places I mentioned. Miku, Praslin.
been among the hardest hit by
Look at that.
sarcasm invasion in recent years.
I think that's Miku.
The
That's Miku. That's the new jetty they have there.
Of
I think.
seaweed have disrupted fishing activities,
Oh, yeah.
deterred beachgoers, and threatened marine life. Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries, Food Security and Rural Development, Honorable Alfred Prosper, expressed his gratitude to the partner agencies for their much-needed support.
Hey, girl.
But I want to thank JICA for this vision and this level of assistance that has been provided. And I can't wait to see the boat. I can't wait to see the truck and the rest of what is to come. Because we must approach it from the ocean down to the beach. And I will be very grateful, the representative of JICA, that you indicate to your team that we can't wait no longer because it's causing a problem. Now we are approaching the tourism season where we'll be seeing lots of tourists coming from all over the world. We would hate to know that they cannot enjoy our beach or beaches because of sargassum. So I'm looking forward to receiving the rest of this equipment to really put together a strategy, a mechanism that would help us deal with the problem as soon as possible. And this is important for me as the Minister responsible for agriculture because I get the complaints from my fishers.
The ministry reaffirmed its commitment to working with regional and international partners to implement sustainable and adaptive solutions to the growing sargassum challenges, one that continues to test resilience of Caribbean nations dependent on healthy coastal ecosystems. From the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Food Security and Rural Development, I'm Zarek Felix reporting.
All right. Shout out to the Ministry of Agriculture. Awesome. Awesome. That's what we need to happen on the island, right? They need progress. Things have been stagnant for far too long at the expense of the people who are suffering. Thank you, government of St. Lucia, for doing something. All right. We're not going to get too political, but we're going to continue. So let's see. What does it look like on the streets? Right? Let's get a feel for the vibe of the streets. This time that they hit the streets and did some street interviews, they were asking about social behaviors and people's behaviors. So let's see what they're saying on the streets. Usually it takes place in Castries. I do believe they are in Castries in the capital. They walk around and ask questions. So let's see what they're saying out here.
Dad, and you're watching Street Vibes. I am Jewel Vidal, and you're watching
Hi,
Street
Jewel.
Vibes. Today's question is, how can we promote respect and understanding in our society? Let's take it to the streets for some answers. How can we promote more respect and understanding in our society?
Well, it's simple. Them saying.
So there's a question for the chat, for everyone that's here. How can we promote more respect in society, right? Better manners in society.
Well, it's simple. Them saying, if you go back to the Bible says righteousness exalteth a nation, sin is a reproach to any man. The Bible says that we're supposed to love one another. John 3:16 says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, so if I believe in him should not perish but have everlasting life. It is simple. If we go back to the word of God, we have no problems. If we put God first, we have no problems. If we make God the center, the beginning, the side, the top, however you want to put God, just make sure that you put him in everything. In this civil society that we live in right now, we have found ourselves giving too much to the devil and less of God, and where it's supposed to be the other way around. More of God and love for each other as mankind. When we could, if we summarize all of this together, you give God everything, and this world would be a better place.
Well, from our grandparents, the elders, we've drifted away from, the belief of the Most High God, and I think we need to be a much more patient race amongst ourselves. All right, like Lucians, respecting Lucians, and respecting our elders. We lost that.
What they should do is should teach loyalty and respect in the school. Most of the young people.
Hey, she's already on the wrong path. Loyalty and respect in the school? Did she just absolve the parents of having the responsibility of teaching their children to respect the public before they leave the home? Was that modern bullshit verbiage? I'm going to give her a fair shot here. Let's go.
Most of the young people that are growing up, I don't believe that they're even being guided at home on how to even respect their neighbors, much less persons out there.
So you can't alleviate the people who are birthing these little bastards from having the responsibility of teaching them. Sister, please.
Persons out there.
Fix your
in
mind.
the streets, so I believe that it should start from the home. Our culture is that the young people think that, okay, because it's the new age, they should adapt to the new age. But I believe that it should start in the home and it should be in the schools.
Shaky answered best.
These young people in society, it starts at the home of the parents. Respect
There we go.
have gone. What seems wrong seems right. What seems right seems wrong. In society, our young people these days, they do not have fear of God. They do not respect the people in society. Like, you feel whatever you feel, once you feel good, it is right for you and something, right? I am saying to young people, this is not the way. And Santa is not happy with you behaving a bad person, not showing respect to people in society. And I'm saying to young people, we need to have fear of God and respect the people in society, and let us make St.Lucia a proper place and our whole world a proper place.
I don't think you'll get that respect from people here in this country because of the mindset of people. People just have a wicked mentality. They see you and they just figure out they don't like you, so they just do you stuff, you understand? And here's the reason why there is a reason for more crime, more violence, because of the mentality. Mentality here is really bad, I'm telling you. It's like you swear as if it's like a slave trade inheritance. When the first set of slaves were traded into the Caribbean, I think St. Lucia had...
Oh, shit. Now, I'm not going to get on this topic, but one day in the future I will. Oh, shit. I like the way he's flaming the society. Let's go, bro.
Trade inheritance. When the first set of slaves were traded into the Caribbean, I think St. Lucia had the first crop, you understand? And the mindset is really bad. So it doesn't even matter the amount of intelligence, the matter of education. It's just the mindset. The mindset is bad and it's running through the blood. Mankind have to...
He said the mindset is bad and it's running through the blood. I'm sure he meant the blood of the nation. And he also said the first slaves. I'm not going to get into it, but I got my theories, y'all. I got my theories. Them Bantus, Africa, you got some explaining to do.
Just the mindset. The mindset is bad and it's running through the blood.
Mankind have to learn to live in love with one another. If they live in LOVE, they respect those words, everything will be crisp. Mankind need to live in love with one another. That's just it.
Well, you've heard from the streets. Those were your contributions for today. Until next time.
Bye, sweetie. All right. So those are street vibes, y'all. Wow. I do like that what that last dude said. Santa Claus summed it up better than sister before him did. She was mealy-mouthing around about throwing the burden of bad behavior on society to teach these kids. No. It all starts in the home. Let's go. All right. Now, pre-show, right? We got the main event coming up. But first, we're going to start off with the story of Janny Williams. She unfortunately perished and left this beautiful earth early in life. But what we're going to look at is what she left behind, her legacy, right? The culture, knowledge, and education that she wanted to leave behind for the Caribbean as a whole. The Caribbean as a whole. She wanted to spread a message to all of the islands, and through her Calypso and art. There's a lot more to it than just the music. I think you guys will really, really like this. We're going to start off with this, then we're going to get into the beef, the battle of the Monarchs. So we're going to start with the story of Janny Williams. Bernard.
Our inside story tonight. It was exactly 1 year ago that St.Lucia lost probably its most promising entertainer. But as we will see tonight, Janny Williams.
And just to let you know, this is from 2004, 2005. So she's one of the more modern soca monarchs, right? We're staying around the 80s to early 2000s. If I find some stuff and some documentaries on some of the older monarchs, I will bring it up. Believe me, I do have some jazz, Lucian jazz to talk about. Another episode. So this will continue. The theme will continue with music and influences and art from the island as well. Let's go.
Was more than a Calypsonian. She was a committed regionalist and gave up a job to encourage kids to educate themselves and to highlight issues affecting today's youth. Our program tonight will not look at the life of Janny Williams, but focus on her legacy. We will go behind the scenes to look at Caribbean Vision, a group of like-minded Caribbean persons who have committed a portion of their lives to promoting Janny's dream of Caribbean unity through Caribbean music and drama. Good evening, I am Bernard Fannis. October 24th is the anniversary of the death of Janny Williams, the 2004 St.Lucia Calypso monarch. Janny's death in a tragic car crash along the Canaries' Soufrière main road shocked the entire country and the Caribbean, coming just 3 months after the first timer to Calypso won the Calypso crown. Janny worked passionately to win that title, but as we will see tonight, there was a lot more to Janny. Her life was committed to the Caribbean vision and its promotion of educulture, using Caribbean music and Caribbean folk culture to communicate serious messages to today's youth and whoever else would pay attention.
Educulture. I love that.
Last year, each member was warmly welcomed by Janny, who ensured they enjoyed the beauty and hospitality of her country.
Because St. Lucia is simply beautiful. Yes, they do. Actually, almost all the members love St. Lucia.
Our focus is young persons in schools, primary and secondary schools, and we have decided with their support to start the educational school tour again in St. Lucia.
We have a Calypso monarch who is not an ordinary person because she brings a certain flair, a certain character, a certain sophistication. And as I said, she's brought into Calypso that vision of the Caribbean. It's not a situation where as a Calypsonian, first, she then develops that vision. It's a different thing. That vision is part of her life, part of her being.
And if you all want to have a solid foundation, you all must have a good education. So students of Carmen Rainny, what is the key word for today?
Education! Since I was a child, I've always dreamed one day of being the monarch on top of the scene. So tonight is my test to put this issue to rest. How can I lose when I've been taught by the best? Oh yes, oh yes.
It's no good. It's no good. It's no good.
Standing here with me are some of the members of Caribbean Vision who were involved in the vehicular accident that claimed the life of our dear Janny Williams, a vital member of the crew. To my left, we have banker Keisha and Walwyn out of St. Kitts Nevis. Next to me on my right
are
is
hurting.
And
you can tell they're hurting. I mean, not only hurting, but they were involved in the accident as well.
From Trinidad and Tobago, and Bill Rogers Jr. of Guyana. They were all present at the time of Johnny's death on the 24th of October.
Johnny was the one who I normally speak to when I was in St. Kitts, if I call and stuff, and Kurt will just put me on to her one time. And then she's the first person I saw at the airport and everything. And I could go and talk to her anytime about anything. And she always tell me she wanted me to have a nice time in St.Lucia and so on. So it is very difficult, I must say.
I was still in shock the first time seeing the site and everything.
Aww.
Just to know what to think now.
Well, to be honest, I was very curious, even from before to come to the site, because I heard, a few things about the site, the distance that we fell and so on. So I wanted to know how, it's really a miracle to be alive.
I wanted this moment to be special because this is actually the first time we've been here as a group since the accident. And I wanted that to be a special moment because I know that, the entire crew is extremely emotional about this. I mean, it's very difficult just standing
Absolutely.
here.
We was asked, after the death and so on, we was asked if we were willing to continue the educulture tour, and everyone deeply accepted to do so. And I was one of those members who accepted to do so. And we are here and we completed the tour. And I must say it was a success.
Caribbean Vision was given birth to on October 15th, 2001, with its primary focus being uniting the Caribbean people through cultural arts.
The ideas of Caribbean Vision, we are a non-profit volunteer organization, spreading spreading messages in the schools, teaching, trying to keep the youth on a positive track. We know that HIV and AIDS is an element that is definitely threatening not just the adults, but the youth.
Right.
Teenage pregnancy, support for the West Indies cricket. I mean, a lot of us know about the Michael Jordans and the Maradonas, but how many of us really know and appreciate our Chanda Pauls, Brian Lara, Chris Gayle,
Every time you turn on the news, is murder, she wrote.
The members of Caribbean Vision are rehearsing for a production they intend to take to schools across St. Lucia and other parts of the region. Music and drama are the methods being used to convey a range of messages to the youth.
As a matter of fact, I'm thinking of taking the entire family to a much safer country.
Where?
Guyana, Jamaica, or Trinidad and Tobago.
I'm not telling you to pretend everything in the country's okay. When fabrics of society crumble in the chorus cliche, and although things wrong, I hope that you realize
St. Lucia still nice.
Turn that off.
Who is it making all that noise with them out?
Elephant man, Dad.
Elephant who? Elephant have a man?
Because we used popular dancehall and reggae and stuff to send out the message. So when they heard the music, then they started getting a little comfortable and started realizing and kind of getting into the story.
That's the way to do it, right? You break into their sensibilities when they're young with what's popular. So if you level up your show or you level up a presentation like this where you're trying to reach out to them and you're not corny in your appeal, but you're truly appealing to their sensibilities of culture and music and what they find entertaining, you can then break through and start feeding them these better messages, right? That's absolute genius. Absolute genius. And it's the way that it should be. And there should be more organizations like this. So imagine if, let me take this. There's a white dude that bought Michael Jordan's house. I don't know what the white dude's story is, but he bought Michael Jordan's house and then he went and got some high schoolers from the local high school and was like, come on, look at Michael Jordan's house. I don't know if he taught them anything other than this is Michael Jordan's house and you too could be Michael Jordan in the future. I don't know if he shared any kind of life lessons with them. But let's pause for a second. Let's say that the primary focus of the Michael Jordans and the other musical entertainers, outside of what they do as their art, was actually to do this shit firsthand. To do this firsthand. Not have some white guy buy your shit later and then share it with a bunch of black kids in the hood, but you be the face of this first. Well, anybody got a time for that because they're going to be a sports star and they got to be a musician. They got their own lives. Maybe they should reevaluate how they do that, especially for the shit-talking entertainers who have something to say about political and social issues, but do nothing functional to back what they say, right? They are really just fetching and stepping at monkeys at that point, just minstrel. They're just minstrel entertainers. So that's just my 2 cents, just a little bit of a perspective. What if our entertainers were a little more constructive and less destructive in the messages that they pass? It's just a thought. Let's carry on.
I just want to say that we dedicated this particular show to Johnny and some of the people.
Hey, Lauren, how you doing, sis?
Accident. Banker, the oil tanker, was one of the persons in that vehicle at the time. Chocolate, Bill Rogers, and of course my friend, Miss Vera Samuels, my friend and family, my little sister.
This show in Soufrière was taking place just weeks after co-founder Johnny Williams died in a tragic car crash. She was instrumentally involved in scripting a production which reflected real-life situations facing today's youth, among them teenage pregnancy. Here the group is performing for students of the Soufrière Comprehensive Secondary School.
Who is she? What you want? Come on, baby, she's nobody, just a girl I know, you know. What? Listen to me, I am nobody, just a girl, you know, and who are you? I am Banker's girlfriend. What? And you didn't say who you are? Lady, you must be mistaken, because not only am I Banker's girlfriend, but I am pregnant with his child. What? I'm having a baby. She's having a baby.
Not the single baby mama song from the girl's perspective. That's fucking hilarious.
Baby, and there is no daddy. There is no daddy. When the baby starts to kick, no papa to witness it. Oh, what a shame. Only me to blame, to blame.
Hey, but she's bringing social awareness, right? She's talking to the other little girls.
I went to the doctor yesterday and found out I am pregnant. So we are having a baby. What? What? We having a baby? Look, check my stomach. Yes, you're flatty B. So man, so why you coming telling me about we having a baby? Listen to me. Stop Poppy showing. You know exactly what I mean. I'm pregnant for you. Pregnant for me? That's what I just said. Well, you have to be making a mistake, you know, because I cannot get children. So what you have there, it doesn't belong to me. How you mean it does
Lee
not
Turner,
belong
how you
to
doing,
you?
bro?
You are the only person that been with Banker, so it has to be yours. You look, back here from here before me, choke in your face and mash up, you know.
You know that teenage pregnancy on the rise? Abortions among students on the rise? How you could get yourself caught up with somebody like that? And young lady, obviously you're not concerned about HIV and AIDS. You having unprotected sex. Did you take a test, an AIDS test? You know if he took an AIDS test? Wait. You have Brush, Bacchanal Wine, Anxious. You have all Johnny song on one CD?
And the best you want, the man is the best he's selling.
How much for one, brother?
So Lee, you've missed just basically just like the news. Earl, I'm sorry. Earl and Lee. What's up, Earl? How you doing, bro? So basically we're just kind of breaking into the news and everything. We finally got to the Calypso side of things, right? The Calypso Monarchs. There was a Calypso Monarch that fell back in 2004. She was involved in a tragic car accident, but she left a legacy of not only being a Calypso songstress, but she left this legacy, this great legacy of art and entertainment and edutainment for the young generations across the Caribbean, to share with them, to help them look at life differently, the kind of things that we don't necessarily always have. So it's the social commentary coming from entertainers, helping educate the kids and keep them on the right path. So we're breaking slowly into the Calypso stuff. And I'll tell you what, y'all, before we continue, I do owe my boy Reaper just an absolute word of thanks, right? I'm always speechless when this happens. Last night I did my episode Insomnia. I was just up goofing off, listening to music, playing video games, and then we found out about the Trump Diddy thing between him and Bubba, alleged interaction between Trump and Bubba. So we covered that too last night. And then Reaper came in clutch. Bro, I was never expecting this. Shout out to Death Reaper.
More money, yeah. More money, more dollar bill. More money, yeah. More dollar bill. More money, yeah. More money, more dollar bill.
Brother, I caught that this morning. I didn't even see it last night. I greatly appreciate you, bro. He's the producer of last night's show. I want to thank you guys so much. Every time a donation comes through, you guys are the show producers. You keep this thing going. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So, all right, y'all. So we're breaking into the Calypso stuff. We're in the home stretch here of Janie Williams' story and the legacy she left behind, watching what the dramas and the social commentary is that they're sharing with the kids. And then we'll go right into the main event. Let's go.
Best price in the world.
Give me a treat.
The question of piracy was another critical issue highlighted in the production by Caribbean Vision. Regional artists lose hundreds of thousands
Black
of dollars
Couch, what's
annually
good,
from
bro?
theft of their intellectual property.
How you expect the man to escape poverty, misery, and starvation if he a pirate, thief, and rob?
Bald-headed. Mr. Bald-headed.
Mr. Baldhead.
There's only one way to eradicate poverty, fight starvation and crime, and that is by using the keyword.
Keyword?
Chocolate, what is the keyword?
Education.
You understand? To all the students, this song was one of Johnny's favorite songs that she would always tell the youngsters.
R.I.P. Johnny.
Walk cautiously, children, be alert. Because you have an enemy that's roaming this earth. I know that you young and restless, but you don't have to be careless. You see, sober thinking leads on to righteousness, yeah, to happiness, spiritual bliss. That's why I tell you this. Watch out, my children. Watch out, my children. We have a fella called Lucifer with a bag of white powder, and he don't want to go to your face, no, but to bring shame and disgrace to the human race. Yes now, yes now, yes now. Yes now, yes now, yes now.
A segment on Grenada was inserted into the script after Hurricane Ivan destroyed the Spice Isle.
Yeah.
Caribbean Vision went on to host fundraisers for Grenada in St. Vincent and Guyana.
Violence don't pay. Mommy always say,
go, little sis.
Smile and walk away. Stop peaceful violence now. Violence in schools, breaking all the rules. Learn to smile and take things cool. Stop school violence now.
School violence is another concern of the members of Caribbean Vision. The youngest member of the group is given the responsibility of drawing that issue to the attention of the audience.
Let me go to school, let me do something new. Let me jump, let me dance, let me shout and sing.
The main focus of the presentation is education, a message that is highlighted repeatedly by members of Caribbean Vision.
Education, regardless if you want to be a doctor, a teacher, a musician, whatever field you want to go into, the bottom line is having information, being informed, and you can only do that by getting a proper education on the subject matter that you're undertaking.
My name is Ashley from St. Lucia, and Volcano City, I want to see you erupt. What is the key word? Again.
I want to hear somebody say education. Again, somebody say education.
I am Bill Rogers Jr. from Guyana.
Who's her guardian? That's an old woman in a little body.
And when I come in here, they say Sofre is the best school in St. Lucia.
Everybody here was warm. The children were full of life. They were very full of life. They're energetic, and I like to see that. It's real good. It's a fun experience for me.
Many other topics connected well with them. For example, violence. This is something which is prevalent now in our society, and we need to find ways and means of curbing it, not only through the legal system, but also through education.
It taught us, the students, like about AIDS, about how education is important and things like that.
Everybody was a great way of bringing out the message, and I enjoyed the show very much.
My sons and my daughters, to you I plead.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome message, y'all. R.I.P. to Janie Williams. R.I.P. to her. And the message that she left behind was absolutely priceless, you guys. Absolutely priceless. All right. Now for the main event. Derek, what's good, brother? How you doing, Mr. Gaines? How is your afternoon? All right, y'all. You've been waiting for the Monarchs. So, the way that our buddy over at Untold Stories describes this episode, this is a story of St. Lucia's two most decorated Calypsonians. It's Back to the Future in a musical capsule. This one is a doozy. So, Untold Stories, our brother, our friend of the show, he has most recently become a invader, as you all know, even if he doesn't know it. Link is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I always provide you with the links and show respect and throw flowers to those who help contribute to the show, even if they don't know they did. So, Untold Stories, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the main event. Let's go. Also, and I mentioned this a few times, and I said it in the chat right when the show began, you guys probably missed it, but if you know anything about rap battles here stateside, right? Western world rap battles, forget everything you know. This is a Calypso battle. This is great. This is good entertainment, you guys. Anyway, for those of you that are new to the channel, as always, you hear us say it here on YouTube all the time, like, subscribe, share out the video. If you're new, definitely hit the like at least. You don't have to subscribe if you don't like the content, but hit the like. That helps me out, all right? Helps me out a little bit. Let's go. Derek, I'm doing good, bro. All right.
For the past 40 years, their names have been synonymous with victory, bacchanal, librettos, picong, props, and every now and then, some l'argent. Desmond Long and Ignatius Tyson
A little bit of
have
money.
sparred on stage while setting the stage for the next generation of performers. Their lyrics have elevated the masses, murdered politicians, predicted doom, and a Nobel Prize winner, while still giving us beats to make us all bend down low. The lyrics which they spat 30 years ago are today still household jingles. In this episode, we sit with two of St. Lucia's most decorated calypsonians as they take us from secondary school renditions all the way up to 21st century partisan-flavored calypsos. Untold Stories presents The Mighty Pep and the Invader, St. Lucia's Monarchs.
That's right. The Mighty Pep and the Invader. He's the Invader. That's right. The original Invader. Actually, he's the second Calypso superstar with the name Invader. If Trin was in the chat, I don't think Cuzzo's out there. If he's familiar with Calypso history, there was a gentleman by the name of Invader, I believe, from the 50s, 60s in Trinidad, and then the Invader from St. Lucia popped up. So, hey, but this is my Invader. All right, let's go. And this old man don't fuck around. He don't mess around. He's still in character with the mask on. He's cold. All right, so I'm gonna show you a spoiler alert. That guy he just dapped up right there, that was his arch nemesis on stage. So these two dudes used to battle it out. That was his arch nemesis right there.
It's been a long time we haven't been to party. So come on, baby, go dress up yourself pretty. Every night is only television. Let's go out tonight to release some tension. Tonight we're going to party down. Tonight.
Tell me your full name, please.
Hey,
My full
Janesta.
name is Ignatius Alexander Tyson.
Sing me the chorus in your favorite
Janesta
song.
Coleman.
One of yours.
Just as I am, I come. This time with no damn presentation. Just as I am, I come. With sweet music and lyrical rendition. That's the one I sing most often.
The
This
one
old
where you
man.
came in the cat suit.
Yeah.
Just as you were.
Just as I am.
Tell me about Genesis. Genesis with you and music.
I went to the Seventh Day Academy and I was able to have a Calypso show at the end of term there while I was there. So Calypso was really always my calling. You know, I was also known as the neighborhood clown too, the one who would make people laugh.
See, he leveraged his fuckery. He leveraged being the clown into his art. This is what more people need to do. Express themselves instead of staying with the mainstream sheeple.
So I suppose being an entertainer was inevitable for me.
From how we drive so recklessly, like human life mean nothing to we. How could Lucia be nice? How could she be a paradise?
In 1983,
He gets their attention with the absurd dress, with the absurd costume, and then his lyrics just smack him in the face, and he's dogging politicians, and he's talking about poverty, and he's talking about the inequalities in society. I love it.
I decided I wanted to enter the national arena. And that was after, in 1982, I watched the late Get Through on a bus on Brazil Street on Carnival Day, singing What the People Chanting. And I stood on the steps there by ALS Lombard. I don't know if you're familiar with Brazil Street.
And I stood on the steps and I watched the bus pass. We'd get through on that bus singing what the people chanting. And I watched the people behind the bus. And the way they were into the music. And I decided I wanted to do that too. At that time, there were two rustlers called the Invaders, rustling black and white television at the time. But the Invaders were so good at the craft, and they wore masks, so they had a mystic about.
Where are my WWF fans? You guys remember these guys?
And I decided I wanted to do that too.
Who remembers this duo?
Two rustlers called the Invaders.
Who remembers them?
Invaders, rustling black and white television at the time. But the Invaders were so good at the craft, and they wore masks, so they had a mystic about them. So I say, well, boy, maybe it might be a good gimmick to wear a mask, because, you know, at least that would give me a breaking chance, because I know if I was to step on that stage directly out of the church, that might be the beginning of the end for me.
Right, right.
So I decided to use the mask, and strangely enough, that was the best gimmick I ever, you know, could have thought of, because up to now, the mask is really what have me going, you understand?
Put your hands in the air now. Put your hands in the air. For St.Lucia musicians. You know what I'm doing? Money friend way.
I've been singing Calypso locally for 35 years. And up to yesterday, somebody said to me, that's the first time I see your face. You know what I'm saying? So that is the genesis really of me and the Invader.
1985. So mothers, hold on to your children.
Now that was a year, boy. That was a year, because I came out in 83, eh? Now in 83, when I came out, I was the first runner-up and I won the road match right away with a song called Mash Up Yellow Man, which was a fusion actually of Calypso and dancehall in 83. But by 85, I decided it's time to get serious, so I linked with Max Stephen Overteen, Lord help me.
But when them woman get on so wild, giving man them ready-made child, that is a big sin.
We're good partners. I say, boy, help me, boy. I want to win a crown, man. We came up with two gems, man. Help with Father, which was a social commentary, and Mothers Hold On to Your Children, which was also a social commentary, but with a party flavor. Hold On to Your Children. That is one of the most popular songs I ever sang. I'll tell you why, because whenever I go to the diaspora to perform, that is one of the most requested songs. Now what happened in 1985 also, there was a big exodus. That's the time when a lot of Lucians left and went over to England, to the States and what have you. So they went with the memory of the road match, Hold On to It, which was phenomenal for its time. Eh?
You were also the master of presentation. And for Apartheid and War Games, you had proper presentations.
Another masterpiece again.
Yeah.
War Games was something else. In all the songs that I've sung, I've always made the initial effort to start writing them. So although I've worked with many writers, I always make a very valid contribution to the composition.
Tell me about regional Calypso at the time, who you admired, what performances you looked out for, and who were your biggest competitors early in the business?
Yeah. Okay, regionally, I had quite a bit of experience regionally. We spent quite a bit of time in Dominica. I met up with guys like Scrunter, Hunter, Picky. As a matter of fact, there was a collaboration with a local tent and a tent from Dominica where they used to have exchanges and what have you. My mentor is the Mighty Sparrow.
Hey!
And
the Mighty Sparrow, if you know, you know.
Late Winston Bailey, the Mighty Shadow.
There we go.
I fuse them two guys together. I use the mystic of Shadow, and I use the performing skills of the Sparrow. And I combine that to create the Invader. You understand? Sparrow at the time, in my mind, was the greatest performer. I mean, the songs the man used to sing, the way, the double meaning. So I copy a lot of that from the Mighty Sparrow.
Will you still love me in good times and bad? Will you still love me when hitting a note gets hard?
I migrated to the United States in '87 with one ambition, and it was to do a recording. I wanted to do a professional recording, and I had to make that sacrifice. I live in New York. I used to sleep underneath a stage in a disco for about 6 months, just to make this sacrifice to be in New York, to be around the right set of people. And it worked for me because in '88, I got to meet a guy called Kenrick Georges, who arranged a song I wrote called Walk and Wine.
When I knew you, girl, you couldn't even talk, no. Is I hold your hand and teach you to walk now. But since you come down from New York, baby, you have all them young boy going crazy. I remember you were so shy, mama, yeah. If a man did call you, you would have cried now. Teasing never seemed like your style. But now New York have you wild. When you walk and whine. And whine. And whine. And whine.
They walking and whining these days. They was walking and whining in the 80s. They walking and whining in 2025.
Number one in New York for 12 weeks. At the time, I was so naive and thing.
Oh, what's up, mama? Hey, Sheila. How you doing?
I literally gave the song away. So I wasn't really able to reap the real financial benefits of a hit like Walk and Wine. But what happened with Walk and Wine is that it exposed me to the international market. So whereas I didn't make money from the recording itself, but the performances. I mean, up to a day like today, I still tour every year.
Come in! Bloody thing, man!
I came back in '91. I think Ashanti won the crown that year. I didn't take part in the competition. The following year,
Ashanti is another gentleman, another Calypso monarch, absolutely dynamic. Another headlining name that you'll hear from the island as well.
'92, I took part in the competition, and I won the road. I won the road match in '92 with Jane Salah.
If I'm your woman, why don't you hold my hand? Show me some affection. Give me some satisfaction. Non mais désolé. Non n'a pas voulu dasser. Excité à l'autre femme. Des jam. Ouais qu'à quitter. Allez, ouais va derrière comme maman. Jane Salah. Ouais qu'à quitter. Ouais qu'à aller. Non moi pas mêler maman.
He makes fun of everybody. He's picking on everybody. Okay, I think they're gonna go do a commercial break. Yep, commercial break. So we're gonna skip the commercial break. And we're back.
Get up now, it is time to party. Put all worries aside now, forget everybody.
Unless you guys wanted to watch the commercials, I don't know, gonna watch the commercials.
Just get up and find a partner. Come let we rock with Papa Vida. Now move left and right. Hold your partner real tight. Turn she around. Let she touch the ground. Come along, let's bend.
Messi, what's up, sis? This is the Invader, by the way. That's his name. This Calypso monarch. He's He's about to talk about his beefs. It's great. He's just pure entertainment. This man was he was top shit.
And in '93, I came back and I won the Monarch with a what you call a one-nighter. You know, a song that you just pull out. I mean, '93, Robbie was the man, in 1993. The crowd was rooting for Robbie.
What did Robbie sing that time? Dead Heroes Society?
Dead Heroes Society and I think Castles in the Sky or some, yeah.
Dead Heroes Society was an awesome song, man.
Monster, man. Monster of a song. I mean, like I tell you, Robbie was the man for 1993 up to the night of finals. I mean, the whole pack came to the park to support Robbie. But then, that one nighter, the King Tonight.
Uh-oh.
I pulled that out of the bag.
Veda, you have to give us this story. Tell us, first of all, where your idea came from.
Hold on. Bro's shirt is about to explode. Bro needs a new shirt. That button is about to give out. Shoot across the room, knock out a camera lens.
Tell us, first of all, where your idea came from. And more importantly, tell us where the idea came from for the presentation and whose piece of spandex you put on, boy?
Yeah, well, checking the competition.
Not spandex.
93 there, I say, boy, what could I do, that would be different? Because you can't go in a competition knowing you're a loser already. And that was the situation because, like I tell you, Robbie, so I say, boy, I start thinking. Then the first phrase that came was, I have to be king tonight. I have to be king tonight. But I say then, let's include the judges in that now. If you had to be king, the judges have to play a part in that. So I said the best way that I could touch the judge's heart is to tell them that if they use the criteria
and do their job
right, I shouldn't have no problem. I have to be king tonight. And I mean, the composition of the song, it was basically a personal composition. The song was basically about Papa Veda. A hook line, Papa Veda. That hook nice because, like I tell you, the crowd came there for Robbie tonight. Yeah. And I blow the pack away. Blow it away that night. Yeah. When I come backstage, I went to jam Robbie. Robbie get away me, because he realized things ain't gonna work out the way they had planned. Yeah. King tonight.
Number one, in your land, those in charge, it's time that you realize this small island Caisonian must be recognized. So if the judges do their jobs right, I have to be king tonight. Cause who's the man will prove Calypso belong to the Caribbean? Pampa Veda, Pampa Veda. Who's the man will bring...
One of my best experiences working with anybody on a road match was with Jati when we did in '99 when we did Laja. Yeah, Jati was the one who wrote the song initially, but the hook lines, the Laja, which was really the song. Because although the name of the song is Take My Money, people refer to the song as Laja. You understand? And it was really a good experience. As a matter of fact, having worked with Jati, it gave me a broader, perspective of writing, and I tried to apply some that Belelesh was like an offshoot from Laja,
So all them go play Calypsonian, run into radio station, If I you should hear Pele, the things that they say, but there.
He dressed straight like... Is he wearing a skirt too?
You are the recipient of the St. Lucia Medal of Merit. In fact, you have a whole song giving picong to the haters.
Yeah.
So first take me to when you found out that you were going to be awarded that medal.
I wasn't ready.
There's the man without the mask, ladies and gentlemen.
First take me to when you found out that you were going to be awarded that medal.
I wasn't really that excited about it at first because I didn't really know what it was. And now that I know what it is, I still ain't all that excited. The disappointing part about receiving that medal was the reaction of a lot of individuals, you know, who feed that boy. I mean, you know, fellas used to tell me you get the SLPM boy. You understand? It's SLMM, St. Lucia Medal of Merit. But because my party was in power at the time, they said I get the SLPM. In my mind, I'm the most decorated Caisonian in St. Lucia. I win 4 Caiso Monarch, 7 Road March, King of Kings. I win 2 Soca Monarch.
God.
I'm the reigning bi-local Monarch. I win 2 Extempo Monarch. I'm the reigning Creole Monarch. I mean, after all, what I had to prove again.
Oof.
But Veda, some would say that your pen is usually flavored with red ink.
Here we go.
You sing for your party when you get on stage. And Calypso should
Politics.
be commentary, not a campaign. A lot of your songs have been political.
Oh yeah, I am a political commentator. I will get away from
You
that.
are not a political commentator in as much as a political commentator does it for both sides and gives picong to both
No,
sides.
but I do it for both sides.
Veda.
Laja was giving.
Veda, come on.
No, I ain't trying to get away from that.
Okay.
I read like blood. You understand? I ain't trying to get away from that. And I believe in the ideologies of the Labour Party, straight. You understand? So, in my mind, I had to give pressure to the other party, whether they're in power, whether they're in opposition. You understand? But my challenge is that, you know, in all my commentaries, prove me wrong, you know?
And you know how it is, right? When you have entertainers that start to encroach on the political stuff and start to express the political opinions, you know how the energy and vibe of their fans sway. So that's why he's trying to stay a little bit away from it. But he does have his core values in the Labour Party. I get it. I get it.
Prove me wrong about what I've said.
Who only care about themselves and damn this country. Strategic comments, prison lawlessness. Foreigners buy land I should occupy. The reason you see, I'm sure you'll agree. Why? I'm going country.
You understand?
You've delivered picong to a lot of other Calypsonians over the years.
And I get a lot too, you know.
And then they turn around and they start to poke you.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
I get a lot.
Spice poke you, Pep poke you. You poked Pep badly.
Uh-oh.
Don't call me darling.
You remember that song, Don't Call Me Darling?
Don't call me darling.
Yeah.
So tell me the thought process behind putting some of these things together. And also, when you hear them giving you a little bit of licks, how it feels?
Well, it comes with the territory. Yeah? I mean, you don't expect to be a Caisonian and don't expect to get picong. I mean, come on. I mean, that is the essence of Calypso. I mean,
you sang a whole song about a guy, poor job, and now the guy can't go anywhere. And at Christmas time, it's as popular as Jingle Bells.
So he made a Calypso diss track that was so popular, everybody's walking around singing the diss track.
Yeah, I mean, you don't expect to be a Caisonian and don't expect to get picong. I mean, come on. I mean, that is the essence of Calypso. I mean,
you sang a whole song about a guy.
There we go.
Poor job. And now the guy can't go anywhere. And at Christmas time,
the man can't show his face in public.
it's popular as Jingle Bells?
Boy, I don't know what song you're talking about.
Oh, now you don't know what song.
Because the
Dash
song
It Through the
people,
Snow?
I know the song you're referring to, but you started by saying, I wrote a song about a guy. But if you check the song itself, the song says, girl, I really had to call me, first person. I sing the song about nobody. Is it the first person?
I have to shake your hand, my boss. That is what makes you the master.
Yeah. So I sing no song about nobody. The song is about myself or anybody.
You see how he played that shit smooth?
With the predicament of getting the visa revoked. It's a situation, you know. Yeah, sorry.
Invader, you have also had a couple horrendous incidents on stage. You have, over the years, you had developed an appetite for your own words. You've swallowed quite a few.
Well, boy, I like the way you put it, over the years, because I've been doing this for a long time. I mean, although I may look it, but I ain't no spring chicken. Yeah, that's how I say it. So backstage, there's be real tense during the competition. And sometimes, you know, I go swallow a few lines. It has happened to the best.
Tell me your three biggest competitors in the Calypso arena.
The fellas who pose the biggest problems on a finals night would, of course, have to be the mighty Pep and his gang.
Yep.
Because, you know, he have his gang.
So many awful things being said. The talk around the Caribbean. Everybody saying I dead.
Pep. Ashanti used to be, you know, a threat. In more recent times, Minel is a powerhouse. I mean, when Minel have a good song, forget it. Nintas is a guy who you can never underestimate when it comes to a performance night on a finals. You know?
My final question to you is, what does the future hold for Ignatius Alexander Tyson?
All I want the future to hold for me is simple. I ain't looking for too much at this stage because what I ain't have yet, I doubt I go have it again. So I just want to just flow, you know, move with the flow. I want to be respected for what I do. Don't tell me I'm too old. Don't tell me that. You know, fellas tell me, boy, if you're a boy, you should. I think, you know, it's time to retire. I say, retire from what? I say, I have no plans of retiring. Like I say, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still very much in demand. I just want to keep doing what I love doing to the best of my ability and to be appreciated for it.
All the ladies in the house, all the steppers, I want to see your hands in the air. Well, all the steppers in the house. Tonight, we having a party. I want you to listen to this and repeat after me. I want you to repeat after me. I know I can be what I want to be. Put my mind to it. I'll be what I want to be. I know I can be what I want to be. Put my mind to it. I'll be what I want to be. Come, hey!
That was part one. Now, the opposition. Now the opposition. The mighty Pep. Now the mighty Pep. Queen of Vibes, how you doing, sis?
If you had to think of your favorite song of all times and just give me the chorus, what would it be?
Calypso, darling, Calypso, Calypso, show some understanding.
Calypso, Calypso, I don't want to leave you. Calypso, Calypso, but I have to leave you. The time has come, I must move on. A mission calls to me that I must attend to. But when I'm gone, I'll be listening on.
And if you ever fall, I'll be back to defend you.
1978, you were at St. Mary's College. You're in Form 4, correct?
That's right.
Tell me about Calypso that year.
Myself, Dove, Crispin Dove, Adley, and Lubin, I forgot his first name. All, at that time, we were all musicians at St. Mary's College, and we decided to, to get the St. Mary's College extravaganza going again. You know, I at that time I played the guitar.
Hey, y'all.
Crispin was a keyboardist.
Hey, Lee.
On the bass and Adley on the drums. And we just decided
Looking like an Andre 3000. Look at him. Looking like an Andre 3000 on the guitar.
Well, let us get something going. I sang on that day after 8 too late because we had the principal at that time was Father Joachim Stark, and he had that was his thing.
He wasn't playing, boy.
He wasn't playing. He used to be on the step waiting to see any bus that came in after 8, and he would round up all the boys, and either you get cane or you get suspension, and that was his motto. After 8 too late. So I wrote a song on that, and at the end of the day, I emerged victorious.
First time around, first time king.
First time king.
3 big Calypsonians held me down. It was Bachelor, Lady Spice, and Brown, all 3 who could not defend the Calypso crown. They want to open my mouth and force me to tell my...
Hey, beautiful. How are you? We're talking about the mighty Pep and Invader from 80s and 90s. I couldn't find anything older. I'm still looking. There's some jazz stuff that's a little bit older, but yeah, we're diving into the Calypso battle between these two monarchs.
Strategy to defend the monarchy. So I told the 3 of them, come and watch me. Tonight in the park, as I get to a slack, I give my opponents flag.
Well, the principal at that time was Mr. Nicholas Frederick, and there was always this joke among the boys that he had this sort of smile. He could be mean at you, he will be smiling. I mean, whether he's serious or jovial, but he's hardly ever jovial. He's always been a very strict person. But he always had that sort of vicious smile, as we call it. So, so I decided to write a song about that, I think it was calling Fredo, because that's how he used to, call when he called on the mics at the school. He said, Fredo, don't smile for me. I'm tired of seeing your face. I wrote that song. It brought fun. It was, we were poking fun at the principal. A lot of people, a lot of students. That was a little chance to get at him, So it went down very well with the students at the time, and I emerged victorious.
They start spreading lies. Will Coco they criticize? They say that it have cholesterol, and so the industry dies. Will Coco is not coming back. Around the world is a fact. Will Coco is now the latest craze. Giving the product endless praise. Now we go back to where we were, leading in the show. Will Coco.
I never really wanted to get into the local calypso at that time because of, the state that it was at the time. It was a big thing among a certain, what I call a certain sector of society, And when I used to go and watch a lot of the shows and, watching fellas get heckled on stage and this kind of thing, that was not the sort of vibe that I really wanted to get myself into. At that time, well, of course, Invader is the man you had to beat. The Invader had made a name for himself.
See, here we go. This is where it all starts.
And he had a gathering at that time, a following that that would die hard. When we talk die hard Vader, you couldn't say anything about Invader at that time, And I decided to just give my little humble self. I gone in, I wrote a song, Pumping AIDS. I also penned a regional song, Political Squabble.
And of course, I mean, I was nervous at the time, you know. I went in, I got a decent response, but people, what happened that people liked, they loved the freshness. Because when Invader came out, it was just a fresh person on the scene. His music was different from what was there before. It was just a breath of fresh air in the Calypso. So I came in with my own style now, which in a sense, I wouldn't say it was hardcore Calypso. It was a lot of pop in there, you know. And when I sang those two songs, fellas tell me, "Oh, you ain't beating Invader. You can't beat me." I got a lot of pressure that, yeah. And of course, he was the master of stage presentation at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was Invader, you couldn't go there and compete with Invader and not have something masterful on stage in terms of your presentation. But we fell short on the presentation that year because of the nature of the topics that we had. And of course, Invader was himself on that night of the finals, and he got through with the crown, and I came first runner-up.
Wow. Rain or shine.
Yankee from a coalition and they massacre Iraq. Coalition coming. Coalition coming.
1987. You sit in the staff room and yourself and Sion decide to merge heads. From that merging came an abortion.
I'll never forget the night I first sang it. It was I think it was at Gatie's Cinema. I came on stage, quarterfinals. Invader sang before me.
Uh-oh.
And then I came on a couple artists after. When I sang the song, the entire Gatie's theater was quiet. You could have heard a pin drop. Everybody was just glued to me singing the song. And at the end, I mean, I got like a standing ovation. We couldn't get encores at that time. It was almost like a standing ovation. And I was walking off stage, and I saw one of Invader Cabs, one of his writers, I think it was, he had about 4 of them standing up there, Striker and his other party.
Yeah, Cabs used to write for him.
Cabs, right. They were just off stage on the right-hand side, before the toilets there. And I walk off stage, and one of Invader's partner did him. Boss man, you lose this year.
Finals, and you're at Mindo Philip.
Mindo Philip, right.
You are the famous diaper. I was a kid, I remember that show. I remember watching that on television. You come out, take me back to that show.
All right, no commercials, no commercials. Let's fast forward through this.
There were 11 bottles in all.
There we go.
Kind of warning, the biggest bottle fell down from the wall. 11 yellow bottles was standing on the wall. 11 yellow bottles, see them
You're struggling to figure out how we're going to present the song. So, after debating, I think we decided you'll have to come out of a womb. I said, but how are we going to do that on stage? How are we going to come out of a womb? Yeah, man, we have to build a womb. We have to build. That was it. And from that time, that was the consensus. And we got Giovanni Santoma.
Now, costume designer Giovanni Santoma. For those of you who've been following Soca Sundays, whenever we look at the beautiful, beautiful, most ornate costumes from the king and queen, they are done. 99% of them are done by Giovanni. All right. Each tribe has their own designers, but Giovanni's all over the place. And his family has a legacy in artistic design across the island for decades. So yeah, it's amazing that he helped him design that. As soon as I heard the name drop, I knew who it was.
Struggling to figure out how we're going to present this.
When we do King and Queen of the Bands, if you go back and you watch King and Queen of the Bands, any of the shows that I did discussing those and showing you guys what the competition looked like, you'll see and you'll hear the announcers mention Giovanni Santoma as the designer of the costumes and the floats.
So after debating, I think we decided, Pep, you'll have to come out of a womb. I said, but how are we going to do that on stage? How are we going to come out of a womb? Yeah, man, we have to build a womb. We have to build. That was it. And from that time, that was the consensus, and we got Giovanni Santoma. We came on stage, the song began, and they wheeled out the womb. The crowd just began screaming. I mean, they began screaming, and from then on, everybody considered, well, that is my king. And it went, well, I mean, as anything else, it was my first monarch, and that, at that time, created that Pep Invader
clash.
And that's sort of competition that started at that time between the two of us.
But believe me, how it grieves me when I see and push our culture aside.
And when we went on stage, and Ford began his little antics with that violin, but I'd never seen a crowd, I mean, get so carried away.
So much so that on the night of finals, he was carried, he fell, and his arm broke.
Broke his in his, I mean, after the song played, I mean, he was so, I mean, I don't know. There's something about it. He loved that song so much. I mean, he always told us that, but that song used to give him so much joy to play. And poor fella, right after singing, right after playing, man, whilst we were just making our exit, because whilst we were making our exit off stage, he had to continue playing with us and go. And poor fella just walked off the stage without even realizing. He walked straight. I mean, just dropped down from the stage.
Broke his arm.
Broke his arm.
Poor guy.
And there were a number of persons from all the way up from the Caribbean, from Suriname down, Guyana, Suriname, all the way up to Antigua, St. Kitts. There were a number of Calypsonians and some who have had, who have had an outstanding career and so forth. And we went to Skinner's Park. I was the only non-Trinidadian who qualified. It was just 9 of us, so it's 8 Calypsonians and the Mighty Pep. But funny enough, when we sang that week of before the finals, we went, we did a couple shows, in Trinidad, and people were making the comment that, well, Unborn Child is not really a calypso as far as they're concerned in terms of the type of music and so forth. When we got on stage and we did the Unborn Child with its presentation, they actually got the gist of the song. It went down very well. Very well, and there was a contingent of St. Lucians in the crowd, backing Mighty Pep, and I was very elated at the response we got. When I came back in for the second round now, I sang Rags to Riches, and that's what the Trinidadians like. The beat, and not only that, I was able to put in some lyrics pertaining to Trinidad. It was no longer when I used the Syrians and this sort of thing. I spoke of persons on Frederick Street and Charlotte. So I put in some of these characters in the song, and it really, the Trinidadians got to it. They got to it. And so at the end of the day.
So what he's saying is the Trinidadians are a difficult crowd. Shots fired. All respect, Trin, wherever you are, cuzzo.
People were not, they were not surprised.
Can you tell us, Cinderella, no longer a fairy tale, flesh and blood on a human scale. Cinderella, mystery fellas, in a sudden dramatic climb, rags to riches in record time. But between me and you, we all jealous still with you. Cause if we were in their shoes, it's the same thing we would do. Oh yes, we play in lottery, we play in fools, we all trying hard to be Cinderella's too.
The following year, you had to leave. How is it that your final song before you go off to study is your winning song? Take me back to preparing for that show. The emotion, you and Sion coming together to write a song that essentially is a farewell, giving the endless maybe to everybody else.
Yeah.
Tell me about that night.
Well, the thing is, I had already gone to study in September of '92, and I wasn't sure whether I was going to come back because it was my first year in medicine, and I wasn't sure that I would have gotten the time to come back during Carnival because Carnival was still in February at that time, and I wasn't sure what my schedule would have been like, and not only that, but if you can remember my 1992 victory with Calypso Farewell, that's the year, the famous year when bottles were pelted on stage because it was Ashanti's third year. Well, he had won 90, 91, and everybody wanted him to win a three-peat in 92. So when I won with Rags to Riches that year, it was rained with bottles. So it was in my mind, well, that's the kind of attitude towards people, and you know, I was now asking myself whether I should basically come back, you know, to sing. I said, when I'm going to do medicine, I think I'll have to take a break from the Calypso scene. And I was in Trinidad and studying, and I got a message from Sion telling me that I have to come back.
That year, Sion's pen was at work, and your musical notes accompanied aliens. I feel like an alien in my own land, in this land that I love.
That's right.
You have to go, but you won the show. Tell me the confusion that's happening with you.
Well, I think at that time, I was adamant that I was leaving. And then again, Sion calls me and tells me, Gasso, you cannot, Gasso, you're the king. The people expect you to defend. That's the excuse, you know. You're the king. You can't just go by and say, but
you can't just back out of it now.
You know, this kind of thing. And he said,
You've gone too far.
At that time, the Calypso was so intense between myself, Invader, and Ashanti, that as if a pep out of the scene would have taken away from it. So he kept telling me, nah, you have to come. I tell him, nah, I mean, I study now in the middle of my program. It's difficult to come back, you know. And then he said, well, what if we just decide to do a thing, do the will? Well, you go and you've left, but you want to leave something. You're leaving a will for your son. You know that that the other Calypsonians can't step in your shoe. You're giving it. Again, he came up with the idea.
That's genius.
And I said, well, I mean,
that's genius. You box yourself in as a legend by doing a farewell show, dedicating everything in your legacy to your own child and not the other Calypsonians. That's a dirty game.
That's a smart
you know, that's art, right? That is an artistic level of spite. I love it. I love it.
It was a way of getting me back to come and perform, and it was a good song. And I said, I mean, it is a song that had a gimmick in it, you know. So and honestly, I wasn't too sure that I would have won that year. I wasn't too sure that I would have won, but then it was a song that was worth coming back to defend with.
Yep.
From the time they heard that I live in a will, and then the next thing they realized the will was my little boy, because they were wondering who everybody said, maybe Tricky, maybe, you know, something like that. And then when they realized it was my 7-year-old son at the time, I brought out on stage towards the end of the song. That was the last verse to say who I was living my will to, you know? And I mean, that knocked out the crowd.
Your only begotten.
My only begotten son.
Yes.
Yeah.
Minel, Invader, and Ashanti, the thorns for you every year. Tell me about your relationship with them.
Ooh, girl.
I don't care about who's sucking, whose mother in the garden planting corn, whose backside does shake like shock and drum. It's high time we realize we don't have to paralyze the young generation. Yes, the future leaders of this nation.
Well, I mean, I've had a wonderful relationship with all three. I mean, even in the times way back when people, you know, the pep Invader clashes in the past.
Right.
Now hear that? Hear that? As I sat on the chair at
there was some sort of feeling among people that we were like adversaries, you know, our enemies, but it was not so. I mean, Invader, I mean, we talk, I mean, when we meet, we go to shows, you know, I mean, we're not lineman partners as such, but of course, I've never had anything, I mean.
But it was always said that you were singing for the bourgeois and he was singing for the man.
There we go. There we go. Now this is where the conflict starts, right? Because the audiences, Calypso's already in its own little special segment, but when you have people like Invader, who is talking about the social issues and the social strife and poking fun at the government and poking fun at the rich, then you have Pepside, which is more of a popular, calmer, smoother kind of Calypso. You have the bougie side and you have the people side. And the other piece of this too is you have the haves and the have-nots, right? So the other piece of this too is that Invader took a political stance. So he was sharp in his words, right? He's an invader like we are over here, y'all. So he was sharp in his words. So it automatically appealed to the heart of the masses, right? They were the ones, the downtrodden type were the ones that clung to that side of the Calypso. So
that is what at that time. Remember, I said when I came in,
he'll explain it.
He had his following, and when I got into the arena, it brought out a different crowd to these shows. People that you would not have seen come into tent, people you know who wouldn't go to these finals, started coming out. So there was a pep faction, which they say is bourgeois faction. I don't know what they meant, but that is how they categorize it. An Invader now is singing for his, you know, and then a shanty came in, and a shanty was the Malay King.
Bring the prices down. It's just a little bullshit, we begging please. You want a little something to ease the squeeze. Like you want to see the poor man beg on his knees. Show some compassion to the poor man.
So you have three sets of, you have three Calypsonians, each, you know, appealing to a different section of the society. And I think that was what made
Bougie.
Calypso at that time what a must-go-to show.
Bougie, bougie.
What has been your favorite song, your favorite performance in any of these finals?
My favorite would be Calypso Farewell. And like it touched me personally because it really looked at pep in Calypso, and some of the lyrics in it, I mean, it was actually my journey through the Calypso until that time. But I think what touched me most was when I went to sing that song on the night of finals. I could have said nothing on stage, and the song would have been sung, because almost the entire crowd was singing the song. I stood on stage and I heard people sing it word for word, all 4 verses, and I'd never gotten a response from a crowd at that time, and that touched me. You know, I almost broke down in tears when I was leaving the stage.
As I go, my sweet Calypso, who will win your heart tomorrow, is bringing tears to my eyes. Sweet Calypso, some may forcefully invade you, some may trick you to persuade you, or even ask the Lord for advice.
That is a great send-off. You actually send a dedication to the art style that you have celebrated for so many years. This is artistry, you guys. This is pure artistry. It's to be appreciated. We don't see this much anymore, if at all.
Even when you have been political, you give a picong to the government of the day, it always appeared, though, that your pen was always peppered with red pepper.
Here we go again.
True? Untrue?
Well, at times.
Last year you outdid yourself. You really went all teeth on everybody. What was that all about?
The good thing about the song is that the character in the song was a character that people don't mind you taking a punch at. And that was on both sides of the aisle, whether Flower or Labour. Because when we started testing the song around, you were hearing from both sides. They don't mind, yes, you can say anything about meat, but don't touch the other fellas, you know. But meat, you can sing about meat.
Well, you know, this tiffin thing is outrageous. And dentists say it is highly, highly contagious.
After 30 years of singing Calypso, when are you going to produce an album? I guess you hear that question a lot.
I hear that all the time. Personally, I think I owe it to the St. Lucian public, because there's not so many of pep recorded songs. The songs that are recorded from the 10s and maybe the finals, and some of the recordings that I did myself, but they were not really professionally done. So I'm looking to get something properly done, and hopefully this year would be the year that I'll put it out.
Where do you go from here? 8 wins, 1 million first places, and now an accumulation of gray hair. Where do you go from here?
Welcome to the club.
Actually, it's a tough thing to say, especially when fans are listening. But I really looking at my way out. I mean, I'm looking.
How many times have you said that, bro?
After I won the 8th crown, it was my
8 crowns.
Just leave it at that and just stop on a high. But what really gets you back in is that anytime the Calypso season is approaching, I mean, you are just mobbed. It's a set of people who want to know that you're taking part this year. They want, the fans just keep at you, and they don't want to hear that you're not coming out this year. You're not coming out. They don't want to hear that. But more so, I want to make space for others who are coming up in the art form. I want to start writing, collaborating with other artists.
See, I love this. He wants to pass the legacy of his skills, his knowledge, and all of that artistry, all of that bottled up intelligence that he has applied to his art. He wants to pass that on, and he wants to be someone that works in the background and helps boost and lift up the next generation.
To see if I could, get them on par in a sense, but I think the time is coming where I have to actually bow out and allow. I don't want to be like 60, 70 and things. At that time, I supposed to be just singing if a guest appearance. You want to hear a little pep now, a little thing. I have a little idea, a little pick on, a little something. I throw it out, entertain the crowd, and leave it at that. But in terms of the competition, I think I've done enough, and it's time, in a sense, to give way for younger folks coming up.
One love, people, one love. Our steps are on the signs of time. Let's reflect on our journey together. This land is yours, this land is mine. With some care we'll have it forever. 10 years have gone, 10 years have come since we've claimed our solution. Who'd go on and on, the fool has never been told. Who'd go on and on, the fool has never been told. Who'd go on.
Shout out to Untold Stories. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go on and put the link in the chat again, because it is a great channel to go check out. Yes, absolutely. Round of applause to them. Thank you, Untold Stories, for bringing the Monarchs to us. That is awesome. That is awesome. Y'all, it has been a great afternoon. I love this mix. DJ Kai, thank you so much for your awesome mix. And thank you, each and every one of you, for joining me today for Soca Sunday. This was another great one, you guys. I think we've covered and touched on some great pieces of Lucian history. And there's more to come. Much more to come. Let's see. The Castries fire. We're gonna look at that next time. The fire that tore through the Capitol. We're also gonna recap with the beautiful Onika. And she's gonna go around the town of Castries and talk about the street names. So we get to spend time with one of my girlfriends, Onika. What else we got? Then we have the following week, I may rearrange these shows a little bit. Rastafari. And then we have 1960s, 1970s around the island and the Caribbean in general. Some of it is from the perspective of colonizers and those documentaries that they do. So it'll be interesting to see how all of that comes together. Taínos, we'll be back up north again. We're going to be back up north. We're going to be talking to our cousins up north again. And then, of course, more music, right? Plenty of things to cover, music, jazz, and things of this nature, the art, the entertainment on the island. And influences, right? The influences of all of that and how it has flowed through the Caribbean. All right, y'all. So that's it for Soca Sunday. That's it for Soca Sunday. That's what we have today. The beef between the Calypso Monarchs. I thought that was entertaining, absolutely. And of course, Janny, right? The legacy of Janny Williams and the legacy that she left behind, how she shared that with the Caribbean and what they're doing in her memory to keep things going. Hopefully that group is still doing what they've been inspired to do. Hopefully they're still productive. I know times have changed and things are rough ever since the C-19, but I'm going to follow up and see if they're doing their thing, which would be great. All right. Everyone, have a great, great day. Thank you so much, Cree, Messi, y'all, Joan, cousin. It was so good to see you out there. Cloud watchers, those of you who aren't in the chat, please hit the like, hit the thumbs up. That helps me out. That helps keep me in the algorithm so these great shows come back around and everyone else sees them from around the world. You'll see them pop up in your feeds. You can go back and replay all this great knowledge. Everybody who is here. Queen of Vibes, I saw you pop in. Miss Queen Sunkiss, G Honda, my boy, my dog, JP. Thank you so much for being here. Lee Turner, you as well. The beautiful, beautiful Sheila. Sweetie. All right, y'all. Woo-hoo. That's right, cuzzo. I love each and every one of you. Absolutely, I do. Y'all know it. Y'all know I only have the best intentions to share with you a little bit about my life, a little bit about my culture, a little bit of knowledge that I have rattling around in my brain, right? I don't have a legacy of my own to share, but I have this legacy, C.I.P, to share with you, right? Each and every one of you. Remember, nothing is true and everything is permitted. You'll hear me say this every show. Nothing is true, everything is permitted. Seek knowledge and evolve, all right? I beg you to do that for yourselves. The world around us is not an absolute reality. We have to discover, we have to investigate, we have to invest in ourselves, in our minds, and expose ourselves to more in this world, because what we limit ourselves to and experience is our own responsibilities. We have to choose wisely in these adventures that we are on, ladies and gentlemen. Again, love you, each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here with me this Sunday. Have a great day. Peace.
The way you wind back, no other, no one like you. Take the spotlight. It's your cocoa love.
DJ Cut. Mature Gamer. Catch the replay, my brother. Little Bad Bunny for y'all on the way out the door. Let's go. Yeah, yeah.